If you are thinking about going full time on YouTube, you definitely want to watch this video. Not going to be long, but just going to give you my thoughts about going live, or not live, well, going live, but going full time on YouTube, because you can go live as well. Here are my thoughts about it. I think there, of course, there are a lot of people that are full time influencers, full time marketers, full time educators, whatever, entertainers, you name it. Because YouTube has a lot of different niches, right, that people are successful in. But I would say for you, if your thought is, well, I want to go full time and I'm just going to make it work, I will caution you, as long as if you've got the financial backing to do that, sure, why not? If you got the financial backing. What you don't want to do is, well, I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to go all in on this YouTube thing. Could it work for you? Anything's possible. Has it worked for other people that may have done that? I'm sure it has. Is it the norm? Probably not. What I would do, like in my example, when we became full-time marketers, if you will, it was really based off of everything that YouTube was doing for us, because we were making content talking about different types of products and services, and YouTube was allowing us to get those products and services exposed. And we would make money when people watch the video and they click the link in the description and purchase whatever that product or service or whatever it might have been, right? So it worked, and it still works today. But we didn't just. It took about 3 months for us to even make that decision, but that was after about 3 months of consistent cash flow coming in, and it got to the point to where we replaced our income at our jobs, and it was still consistently happening, all mainly because of YouTube, mainly because of what YouTube was doing. Um, we were able to make that educated decision, and it worked. We once we both kind of quit our jobs or whatever and focused on entrepreneurship and making YouTube videos and all that stuff, and everything, that a lot of it was being driven by YouTube videos. Um, we made more and more money every month. So it worked for us. It really did. But I had never done, um, well, I can't say that, because I have done that before, because I didn't know any better. And I kind of talked about this in another video, so I don't want to get too redundant, but there were a few times in my life, in my early, I guess not early, but I would say mid to late 20s, where I kind of, there was no YouTube or whatever, but it was just entrepreneurship. I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I kind of quit my job prematurely, with no YouTube, with no Facebook, none of that stuff existed at the time. The internet existed, and I thought that would help, but during those early 2000s, people were still trying to figure out how to even make money on YouTube, right? It was still this novelty type of thing, really, and but it made sense, but it didn't quite work. But even now, with all the tools and resources and ways that you can make money, you really want to really think about making sure that, hey, if I go all in on this, that I have a plan, that can help pay my bills, whatever. If you've got that, great. If you got some kind of nest egg that can sustain you for 6 months to a year, fine. Yeah. If you're in that situation, I'm sure some of you watching probably are in that situation where you're like, well, I could take the next 6 months to a year and just go all in on YouTube, and I got enough in my nest egg that can hold me down for a while. Great, why not? I mean, then you can do the experiment. You don't even have to have the pressure of trying to get things so fast, right? You could just have a plan and just work the plan, right? But if you're like, well, I know I can really do this thing if I just didn't have my job, but I know you know what I'm talking about, man. I know I could do it if I just had all my time. If I didn't have this job, man, I know I can go all in with it. Anything's possible, but I would seriously consider not doing that. Okay, find a better way on how you can do both. Okay. So if your job is so demanding and it only gives you X amount of time per day, or per week, or whatever, create a plan around that time frame. Okay. And maybe you do something. I don't know. Everybody works different types of jobs and stuff. Maybe your job can allow you to do some different things like create content while you're on the job. I don't know. I'm just, grasping for straws here, but you know what I mean. But I would definitely recommend that you keep your livelihood and allow your livelihood to fund your passion. Okay, makes sense? Does that make sense? So you got your job, it's paying your bills and everything else or whatever, but you want to do this. Well, use that to help fund it. Okay. So if you need to get this, or if you need, equipment eventually or whatever, as long as you got a phone, you can get started. But if you know, but allow that job to give you peace of mind. Because the one thing that you don't want to have, I'm telling you from experience, you don't want to try to create and be a creator worried about bills, worried about your finances. It's gonna really hurt your creativity. Okay. So you want to have a clear mind, clear conscience, a clear focus of where you want to go. So I would, and have a plan. And I remember when we left, I don't even think I even had a plan of quitting my job per se. I mean, I think we all ultimately kind of want to do that. I always wanted just to work for ourselves, right? But once we kind of started doing things on YouTube, I started seeing patterns. Like every time I make a video, I get more sales. I get more people hitting me up. So then I just keep making more videos. And more videos I make, we would make more money. So I started seeing a pattern, right? And then once I started seeing that pattern happening over and over and over and over again, I was like, well, if I keep doing this, I can make way more money than I'm making at my job. That's when the idea really came to me. Like, maybe we could really do this thing. We could really just work for ourselves, like for real, for real. And that's what we did. So that's kind of my story a little bit. Everybody's story is a little different, but I would say, yes, go all in, have a plan. YouTube creating content for you and your business, your brand, or whatever will definitely make an impact in your dream, whatever that dream is. It can definitely make an impact, but you got to be smart about it. You don't want to jump the gun too quick, right? I know a lot of us, a lot of times are in these situations, these different jobs or whatever that's just sucking the soul out of us. I get it. I've been there, but you don't want to be in a position where you got your freedom, but you have no money yet. And it could take a month, could take 6 months, could take a year, could take a couple years, right? So you just don't know, because you always got to account for the learning curve as well, right? You got to account for that. So I would say, I want you to look at what you're doing. And this is for the people that don't have that nest egg, that don't have the capability to, hey, I can just go all in. I'm good, whatever. I'm just going to go all in and 100% focus because I got my trust fund, or I got my savings account, or I got my 401, whatever. Okay. I'm talking about the people that are kind of feeling a little trapped. I want you to look at your situation from a different perspective. I want you to look at it as a means to an end. Look at it as, I'm going to use this situation, okay, my job, whatever, and I'm going to use it to fund my dream. And YouTube is going to be the platform that's going to allow me to achieve it. Okay. So I don't have to worry about, I'm just continue to do my day to day every day, but I'm here because I know there's an end game to it. Okay. There's going to be an end to this. It's not going to be forever. I'm just going to stay here while I'm working. And then eventually, as I'm working, I start making money, start doing different things, whether it's just you making money through YouTube, making money through affiliate marketing, different tools, whatever it is that's building, or you're trying to build. Once that starts to really create cash flow for you and it's coming in consistently, okay, is month 1, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever, and it's just been consistent, and you see the pattern. You see it. Once you see the pattern, okay, I see it. As Steve was talking about, I see it. You know what? I'm putting my 2 weeks notice in. I know what I need to do. I know exactly what I need to do now. I see it. And then once you get to that point, then yeah, sure. You've been doing it. You've been creating. You got money coming in. You know, for us, when we quit, it basically we weren't making like 5 figures a month or anything like that. We just basically replaced our income. So whatever we were making at our jobs, me and my wife combined, we were making because of what we were doing, in the entrepreneur space, and all that was being driven by YouTube, all of it, because we weren't even monetized at that time. It was just because of the type of content that we were making for that particular audience. People were searching for it, and people were buying these recommendations, products and services that we were referring people to. And it was all driven by YouTube. And it was going on for months. And it continued for years. That's what's funny about that. It continued for years, right? And it still continues because we not only that was just one offer. We've got many other offers over the years or whatever different things that we've done, obviously. So we've done, pretty good mainly because of YouTube. So if you're thinking about quitting and just doing YouTube full time, depending on the situation, if you need your job as your livelihood, stick with it and just build out your YouTube till it overshadows what you're earning at your job over months. Make sense? And then that's a smart move because you've got the data that backs it. Okay, you got to get the data first. And I'm not saying it because somebody be like, well, I quit. Oh, well, because somebody might comment, well, I quit my job and boom, I blew up. Yep, that's great. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been through that, but that's not the norm for most people. Most people are not going to experience that. So we have to be, because I didn't do that. So we got to be a little smarter. And I kind of learned from some things I did prior to all the social media stuff years ago when I I'm going to do this entrepreneur thing. You know what? I don't need this job. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to be the next Bill Gates or something. And, it didn't quite work out that way. And I went back to work, 6 months later. Right. So, but this is all pre Facebook, YouTube, all Google. This is all before all that stuff. Okay. That's how far I go back. And some of y'all can relate. But the main thing, guys, you can do it. You just got to have a plan. That's the main thing. You can do it. You just got to have a plan. As long as you have a plan, and make sure it's a smart plan, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're regretting the move that you made. Okay? Anything can happen with anything, right? Even if it was an educated, you did the right moves and then you made a left but you should have turned right. But as long as you made the smart, you went down the smart way of doing it, you can always say, well, hey, I tried it and I tried it the right way, but I got to do it this way now, whatever. It all comes with time and wisdom. These are the things that you'll learn by doing. But the main thing is you definitely want to make sure that you have a plan. As long as you have a plan, you'll be fine. So that's my insight. Hope it wasn't too long, but it's just kind of what we did, kind of what I recommend. If you got a job, use your job to fund it. Just use your job to fund it. Look at it as a funding source, right? So they're investing into your dream. You're working on their dream. You're working every day on their vision and what they want to achieve. So use that so you can leverage that to build your own dream as well. And then once you get it going, then you can make those moves and then it might even be, much better for you. And, so I wish you much success. I know you can do it because we got all these things, all these tools and resources. There's no reason why we all cannot be successful if we make the decision to do it and stay consistent. Okay. It's always a disclaimer. you still got to do the deal, right? And you got to stay consistent and get better and be open to get better. So that's all I got, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.